Hi, my name is George Toufexis. I'm an artist illustrator. I'm also a musician and various other things, but my main work is as an illustrator. Now, you probably, I don't know, you may have seen my books on Amazon. There's many of them. I'm known for doing coloring books for adults, which are, of course, mostly landscapes and subject matter like that. But when I'm not doing that kind of work, what I love doing is I love sketching. I've been sketching since I was a child, and my passion in sketching has always been, believe it or not, pulp fiction, pulp covers, science fiction covers, comic books, all that kind of. I actually wanted to be a comic artist many years ago, but I do love doing landscapes. Anyway, just when I want to kill time, just relax and unwind and keep my skill level up, I sketch. And I keep a book that I fill in every now and then. I don't only do that. There's other sketching that I do as well. But there's one particular book that I just finished, and it's just a series of ballpoint pen sketches of what I imagine to be pulp fiction covers. Science fiction pulp, and back in the old days, amazing stories, and of course the science fiction artists, comic artists of the '50s like Al Williamson and Wally Wood and Alex Raymond with his Flash Gordon and all that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. So when I relax, that's the kind of stuff I like to draw. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt anyway to show you all the pages in the book. I don't know how long this is going to take. I had not rehearsed this or anything, obviously, as you can tell by my presentation. So I'm going to open up the book and we're going to take a look at the various drawings. Here we go, turning around. Yes, I am in my studio. This is actually the stand for my drawing monitor that I use. But here we go. Now, here's the first page. The cover, or not the cover, the title. Blob. So what I have is a series of drawings with themes. So the theme for these drawings, I think there's about 10 or 11 of them, they're all having to do with blobs. My guess at what a blob would look like. Here's the first one. And we have, obviously, blobs throughout history. So this is a Persian warrior, or an Assyrian warrior, actually, and he's fighting off a blob. And blobs are great to draw because you can start in one corner and work your way down. And it doesn't really matter. There's no real anatomy to them. So here's the blob. And then we go to the next page. There's another blob. This one is a warrior princess of some kind, and she's jumping onto a blob that she's going to make mincemeat out of, I guess. Here's another one. This is another warrior woman on a lizard of some kind, and she's about to attack this blob. And as I said, there's no anatomy to them, so you can kind of do what you want. And a lot of these drawings have no underdrawing. I just start in a corner with a ballpoint pen and work my way down with no underdrawing. Here's another one. This is a cave scene, and there's the explorers. They're looking into the cave, and look what's inside the cave. Ooh, goodness. It's pretty nasty. And here's another blob. She's on a dinosaur, and they're attacking a blob. Now, here's a World War I fighter. His plane crashed into a blob, and he's about to jump that blob, I guess. Here's an Aztec priest, and he's sort of trying to wish the blob away so that the blob doesn't consume the temple. And here's a woman on a horse in the Old West trying to escape the blob that is overtaking the landscape. A lot of that landscape is from Alberta. I was in Alberta and I saw the hoodoos there in the Badlands, so they occupy this drawing as well. Here's this is probably actually it looks Mayan. They're Mayan temples that are being consumed by a blob, and there's a guy and his significant other trying to escape it. Here's an explorer in an Egyptian temple. And the blob's on the ceiling this time. So she's a little surprised there. And yes, I started up at the top and worked my way down. That's right. Now, this one is one of my personal favorites. I just love this drawing. It's she's obviously in an underground something or other, and she's running because the blob is not exploding behind her, but it looks like an explosion behind her. It's a giant blob. So I think that ends the blobs. And now we get to the alien kaiju. And here's one alien kaiju. Now these are either on another planet or they have visited our planet, and they're giants. So there's one. Here's another one. Another Aztec temple. Boy, those Aztecs are having a hard time with my artwork here. So there's a multi-headed alien kaiju. And here's another kaiju, and he's consuming a skyscraper, which I believe that in the kaiju films, they all consume skyscrapers, or destroy them anyway. Here's a fisherman, and I don't think he notices, that happens a lot in movies when you see, giant things coming up behind people. They don't notice it until it's too late. So I guess that's a warning for campers. You never know what's behind you. Here's more kaiju, and this is like a 1920s rocket ship being attacked. Let me try and straighten that a little bit for you. There we go. Okay, so you can see that. Here's a flying saucer that's letting out a giant something or other, an alien kaiju, onto an observatory, and there's a couple of hikers down there as well. Ooh, this one's pretty nasty. This is obviously on another planet. I don't think there's any mountains that look like that on Earth. So it's, you ever seen the movie The Beast with a Million Eyes? You never see the Beast. Well, you do see the Beast, but it doesn't have a million eyes, I can tell you that. Yes, I do love those old 50s science fiction films. So here's another one, a multi-headed one. And now we get to one of my favorite subjects, cryptids. I'm going to change hands here because this arm's getting tired. There we go. Here's the, of course, the Mothman. There's the Mothman. And those people are terrified by the Mothman. Of course, on better viewing, they've realized that the Mothman was probably just a very large owl. But anyway, here's the Jersey Devil up in a tree. And here's the, let me get my, you know what, I gotta lift my fingers here to get hold of this. Whoop. Ooh, the Lovelock Frogman. Yeah, Lovelock Frogman. Here's the Lizard Man of South Carolina. I love doing plants and snakes and trees and stuff like that, so that's a lot of fun. Again, just ballpoint pen sketches. Of course, no cryptid selection is, complete without Bigfoot. So here's Bigfoot. I think he has an older brother called Biggerfoot, but that's another story. Here's, the Beast of Busco, which is probably just a very large snapping turtle, but no problem with enhancing it and making it a little scarier. And, of course, the Thunderbird. And there's that poor hapless cowboy trying to escape the Thunderbird. I imagine the Thunderbird as a giant Archaeopteryx, so it's got that kind of look. And then, who else but the Chupacabra? That's right, Chupacabra, out in the moonlight. And you can take your choice. That could be Champy from Lake Champlain, or it can be the Loch Ness Monster, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's one of those, lake monsters. And now, the Skinwalker out in the, that looks like the border of Arizona and Utah, Monument Valley. So there's a Skinwalker. And, of course, the Abominable Snowman. And there's the mountain climber there hiding in that little cave. The Abominable Snowman steals a sheep. And so that's the cryptids. Now we get robots and kaijus. This is also one of my favorite subjects. I saw the movie Pacific Rim, and I really like that. So here's a robot fighting a kaiju here. There's several pages of this. There's more robots fighting kaijus. And here's one of my favorites there. I started it up here, and then I realized, it'd be great to put a person down there looking through a window of a shattered house, looking up at the giant robot and kaiju there, multiple eyes. So I carried over the multiple eyes idea with this one. He's about to attack a high-speed rail. And then we have this one that comes right out of the ground. And the giant robot, or what are they called in the Pacific Rim? The Jaegers? One of the Jaegers comes out and busts his chops. There he goes. Yeah. Whoops. Lost my place. Let's get back there. Yeah, we saw that one. Saw that one. And then, oh, we got one coming out of the water here. And they're having a big battle. And then we have, this guy's got a big knife. He's just got a big knife there. Kaiju. And then, oh, yeah, this is a 1-2 punch. Bang. It's kind of similar to, I mean, I did this a few months ago, but it's kind of similar to the punch that King Kong gives Godzilla in those trailers they're showing. Yeah, I sort of was ahead of the curve on that one. And here's a multi-limbed, snake-like kaiju and a double-bladed Jaeger. Yeah. Just in time, he blasted him. I'm going to change hands again. This is getting tiring. Ooh. As I said, I didn't rehearse this, so I didn't know. Here's giving a real nice blast there. And a flying one. Why not have a flying one as well, right? Flying one fighting a robot. There we go. Whoa. Again, just ballpoint pen. You can hear, I'll go up close, you can see. It's just rough ballpoint pen. Here we go. Okay, let's change pages. And what have we got now? Well, we got Vikings and dinosaurs. So imagine a pulp cover where Vikings are attacked by dinosaurs. I imagine them being on an island that they just discovered. You know, the Vikings were great explorers, as you may know, or may not know, but now you do. There's no going back now. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. There we go. And you can see the Dimetrodon there, trying to have his way with the Viking. And here's a Viking ship, just landed, and look what greets them. Ooh, a giant dinosaur. There's their ship, the Viking longboat. And of course, you can't do a Viking longboat without having one in the middle of the ocean being attacked by a dinosaur. Well, not the middle of the ocean, it's offshore. But there's the giant scary monster and the Viking ship. Try to do them as accurately as possible. And here's, yeah, this is one-on-one. This is a Viking fighting a Triceratops. Pretty rough going there. And then, of course, we need flying dinosaurs too, right? So here's Vikings fighting off flying dinosaurs. And then here's a bunch of Vikings fighting a dinosaur. Here they're jumping off of cliffs here to attack him. And here's that's a good pose there. Here's a see, now they've got a symbiotic relationship here. They've actually tamed the dinosaurs in this one. There's the dinosaur and there's the Viking riding it. See? So they tamed the dinosaurs. There we go. Well done. And here's, of course, a giant mastodon fighting an ankylosaurus, and he's being ridden by various Vikings. And then, what do we got? Oh, yeah. The Vikings build a little fort on the island, and they get attacked by dinosaurs, of course, because I don't think the dinosaurs want them there. So they're doing everything they can to fight off the dinosaurs there. And then, oh, yeah. I don't know if you know this or not, but I bet you that dinosaurs have really bad breath. So you can see that warrior woman there, kind of like repulsed by the breath of the dinosaur, as he's standing in the gap and trying to prevent them from getting to their boat way down at the bottom there. See? Yeah, it's pretty rough. Oh, yeah, and there's a volcano too, just to add danger. And now we got Greek myth. Here's a centaur leading the charge. And there's a whole bunch of warriors down below. So there's a centaur. Now we have, Medusa. And look, he's avoiding her gaze so he doesn't turn to stone. And he's got that special sword that he uses to do away with her. I think that was Perseus, wasn't it? And, of course, Greek mythology, you got to have a Cyclops, right? There he is. Throwing the giant rock off the island. And then, of course, the well-known Minotaur. There's Theseus there. He's holding a string, see? He's holding a string because that's how he got his way into the labyrinth and out. So you could find the Minotaur. And then we have Pegasus, Bellerophon, and the Chimera, or the Chimera. I call it Chimera. You can, potato, potato, same thing. So Perseus, Bellerophon and the Pegasus, fighting along with the Chimera. And then we have the believed to be the worst monster of Greek mythology. That's Typhon. So he's got two fish leg, snake leg things, giant wings, and snakes coming out of his head and chest. Yeah, pretty nasty. But that's Greek mythology for you, right? Now, what we got next? Oh, Jewish mythology. There's the golem, and he's got the symbol on his forehead, and there's the medieval town that he's going through. So he's made of mud, which is, I think, the opening to the song 16 Tons. Poor man's made out of mud, right? Yeah, so's the golem. And here is the Tree of Souls. Tree of Souls. I sent this picture to my sons to look at, and one of my sons wrote back, which one is Jackie Mason? So, I don't know. Anyway, there's Jewish mythology, the Tree of Souls. And also, we have the Angel of Death. So, the way I imagine the Angel of Death, because apparently, according to the mythology, he has a sword. So I imagine him as having like 1,000,000 tentacles that all go out and touch people who are destined to die or whatever. Anyway, that's just my imagination. So, and this is Metatron. This is the recording angel in some stories. In other stories, he's what Enoch became according to Jewish mythology. So I just imagined him like this. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but how could it be accurate if there's no such thing, right? Anyway, let's move on from there. And what have we got? Ooh, prehistoric ocean beasts. Here we go. This is the Megalodon, a giant shark. So there he is, and there's an explorer sub there, and won't be there much longer. So there's the ocean floor, too, because they believe he's down really deep. And here we have a couple of scuba divers going around a coral reef, but unsuspectingly, there's a couple of ferocious beasts behind them. So the fun in this thing is just doing the coral reef. They're fun to do. And, of course, you've got to have a sea creature, right? Like a guy's fishing, and look what he caught on his line. Ouch. That's got to be rough. Yeah, and then, ooh, sea scorpion. Check this out. Whoops, let me adjust this. Here we go. There's the sea scorpion, and he's fighting for his life there with the sea scorpion. That's relatively the size that these sea scorpions were in ancient times. Pretty creepy. Now, yes, plesiosaur. And she's got a spear gun. I don't know if that's going to be effective because there's several of them. That's the plesiosaur there. And then what have we got? Ooh, a common enemy. And this is where we're going to end the book here. You have adversaries. There's barbarians and Romans, and they're fighting off a common enemy, which is, of course, probably an alien of some kind. So there's hope for tomorrow, because if people can find a common enemy that they can both fight for, maybe there'll be harmony and unity. I don't see it happening, but anyway, it's fun to imagine. So the Roman and the barbarian fighting that giant creature there. And then here we have natives and cowboys fighting this creature that came out of a flying saucer. So they're together helping each other to fight this horrible creature. Oh my. And then over here we have this one I find particularly amusing. There's this alien creature, and there is a conquistador and an Aztec warrior, both fighting together against this horrible creature. There we go. And then what have we got? And then the last one, we have a Persian and a Spartan fighting an alien. There we go. There's the Persian, there's a Spartan. And I don't think Zack Snyder ever thought of something like this, but it would be an interesting idea, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's my book, and I hope you enjoyed this little journey through these ballpoint pen sketches. And I used various kinds of ballpoint pens, so you can tell by the density of the ink. Some of them were very strong, some of them were very light, but I think it's a nice texture overall. Anyway, thanks a lot. That's the end of that, and hopefully I'll start another book soon, and maybe in a year or so I'll show you another one. Thanks.